what is solar return? Nobody. The solar return is the day the sun rises within your moon sign, which is your birthday. So because of the calendar, the birthday is being falsified. You know? So even the story of Moses is about the elevation of self. Who did Moses? Moses climbed onto the mountain to meet God. What is the mountain? The mountain is your spinal cord. So you have to, for you to meet God, you have to allow the secretion within your spinal cord to rise to the head and be crucified. And when it's crucified, it changes into the bread of life. Do you know that the word sacrament is also secretion? So which means the sacrament they are raising in the church, which people are shouting Son of God, is within you. That is what is called sacramento. And the word Jacob means the heaved, which means the ladder. Jacob, the seat of angels, is the 12 nerves on top of the spinal column, which is ascribed as the zodiac signs. So when you talk about Jacob, you're talking about the covering of angels, and the ladder of Jacob is 33 in number. What makes it 33? If you look at the life of Jesus, he lived 33 years before he died.
Shaman.
Hmm?
Like, all these things you are saying, like that triggering my head, that triggering my third eye, because I belong, like I belong. Are you getting me?
Mm.
So yeah, so that's why I'm getting along with you. Everything you're saying. So anytime I begin to hear all these things regards to this awakening, and then
Mm.
knowing yourself. So whenever I begin to hear it or watch videos about it, like this one you're saying now, my forehead begins to vibrate. Like it seems like a belt or is tied on my head. I'm
Mm.
experiencing shifting now, right now. Yes, shifting.
Yes, because when the original truth hits you, what does it do? It unlocks another door.
It's true, yes. It affects the lie you have heard before.
You see? Why? Because you already know the truth. The truth is embedded within your spirit. Because why? All of the written in Egypt, so you don't know that it's me and you that left all of that writing there. So all of you in Africa, you don't know that you are the ones who wrote that. You don't know you're the one who left all of those things on the stones. You don't know that each one of us might be the pharaoh lying there. They have taken to their museum to test. So all of you don't know it. I came in one of my past life. I said this. They cut off my head. It took so many generations before that head was returned. So I know myself. I know all my past life. You know? That is why, you see, this time, no allegory. They go here and back. Because I'm not here for child's play. So you people better wake up and protect your people. Or else, all of the people waking up, they are going to kill them one by one. You see?
Yeah.
You're not safe, the food you're eating. Do you know that the food you're eating is affecting your consciousness? My
It's true, yes.
grandmother till today no dey eat maggi. Our maggi in Igbo land is ogiri, locust beans. That is how we live. That is our way of life. We don't eat things that damages the system and the energetic part of us. That is why in Africa we don't grow old.
I cannot do without you.
So now what are they doing? They are giving you to eat from the bread of life, while you should be channeling the bread of life within in order to elevate your consciousness.
Yes. You're
You
making
see?
sense. Yeah.
Okay, now they gave you immorality. How many of our ancestors engaged in immorality? Do you know that polygamy started in Africa by the white people? Now, they teach us polygamy. The word polygamy is not in African religion. We don't have it. Yes, so go and make your research. Polygamy started by our greedy ancestors that was working with the colonizers. They gave them titles called what is this title they call them? Please, can somebody remind me? There's one title they call all of the chieftains
Is it the
that they
Walland
gave.
chief? Is it the Walland?
Yes,
Is it Walland chief?
the warrant chief. And when they were ready to leave, to give control to the people, they choose kingship. The word Oba does not mean king. Oba means the eldest in wisdom and in reality. So which means the elders leads the people. You see?
Yes.
Uh-huh. So when you talk about, like somebody is talking about homosexual, the homosexual is started also during slavery. When a black man have done something to trigger the master, what does the master do? The master will rape the African male in front of other male. They will open your anus. It was a punishment. So these things are what our ancestors had to go through just to receive Christ.
Just imagine. And all these things happened because we weren't developed. Had it been that we have camera then, we would have like recorded everything for our future children to see.
We were completely developed. You can't teach an African how to be civil.
No, I mean not. I mean not. I mean like in terms of technology. You understand?
That's what I'm saying. We were civilized. Who taught you
Yeah.
how to use? Who taught you how to use palm oil from the palm to light a lantern? Did Oyibo teach Africans that?
No.
If you check the history, the Oyibo people said that when they came to Africa, Africa was already using electricity. Are you not reading your history? What is the pyramid doing there? Do you know that the pyramid, there is a diamond crystal on top of the pyramid? What is the diamond crystal doing? Do you
Yes.
know that
It relates energy. The king's chamber.
yes, the diamond, the black one, the black
Yeah.
diamond crystal
Yeah.
lightens when the sun hits it. It begins to
Yes. Yes.
shine, but it's
Yes.
black in color.
That's where they also meditate. The king's chamber.
So, which means the pyramids is energy and batteries. That is why you have the Ankh. Now you come to Africa because we have been taught immorality. They have taught us immorality. How to, the only thing African know, you see so many people saying that when you sleep with a woman, you elevate yourself spiritually. You can imagine. You're sleeping with a woman, you're cutting what will elevate you spiritually. That is why when you give birth to a child, it's called child. Why? Because you have neglected the seat of the chi. So you have paid attention to the Sodom and Gomorrah. How many of our ancestors married for love? You people are talking about love. Our ancestors don't love. There is nothing like love. Our ancestors had respect and value for their wives. How many of us are doing that? We use love to deceive ourselves. Love is pretense. You can't express love if you don't have respect and value for a person. Before the Europeans come, we were practicing matriarchy, not patriarchy. They came and they put the men on the seat. That is why everything is like this. But you go to their land, they respect their women. But they taught you to worship Mary. But yet, you can't worship your own black woman. But you worship Mary because he is the mother of Jesus. But you know that you don't know that the Mary you're worshiping is the Eke, which is the symbol of creation, the mother of Jesus. The mother of Jesus is the solar plexus. That is also what they call the Bethlehem and the Dead Sea. The river Jordan is the marrow that flows from your spinal cord up to the head. That is the river Jordan. And the meeting place of the river Jordan and the Dead Sea is in the spinal column where there is a hallowed area. Do we need to cut the head of African for them to understand the war happening now?
People have been deceived, and then this thing you are saying now, probably not everybody will hear it and believe, because people are not awakened. It is only the gifted ones. Are you getting? So the Catholic Church, they use a
Yes.
very purified means, and put all their strategy in everywhere that it has gone through all the world. And people
Chika, you only know about the coup, Chika, if you're listening. Enugu State does not have only coal. There is also lithium in Enugu. Yes, Enugu has lithium. And if you remember our leader, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, he said there is something in Enugu he's not going to tell anybody. But I will tell you today, it's uranium.
Yes.
So let's move ahead and leave all those ones before they block this live for me. Because they don't like me at all.
Who don't like you?
You know?
Who doesn't like you?
No, the TikTok, me and them, we always fight all the time.
Okay.
It's not easy.
Okay, is it because of your teaching?
Yes, now.
It's like you're telling. Okay. So I want to ask you something. What can you say about this normal prayer we normally say about our Father who art in heaven? How is it?
Your Father who is in heaven is your chi. The chi is in the seat of heaven. That is the Father in heaven.
Yes.
You understand?
Yeah.
Elu igwe. Elu means up, Abi?
Yeah.
Igwe means the governor, what governs the Elu, which is the sky. Right? So Eligwe means heaven, the seat of the chi. So Igwe means what governs your divine essence, which is your divine consciousness, which is the chi. So when you say our Father in heaven, our Father who art in heaven, you're talking about the chi, because the chi is the masculine in the seat of heaven. Do you get it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that means the church in their wisdom, it was from woman, like it was from the gift God gave woman that they put everything. Like this religion now is for them to control people.
Mm.
Are you getting me?
Now, let me give you an example. Now, when you do the sign of the cross like this, you do like this.
Yeah,
Are you
yeah,
seeing me?
yeah.
Now, when you touch here, where do you touch? You're touching the chi, right?
Yes,
Which is the seat of heaven. And now
yes.
the seat of heaven is called again Alu. Alu. That is why when you want to tell a person to give you an advice in Igbo land, you tell the person, "Nna tunyale m alu." That is the same thing that is scribed alonsi. This is the alu, which is the pino. That is the seat of heaven. That is the elu, the igwe within a human being.
Yes.
Now, this is the optic, which is the one used to express clairvoyancy. We call it agunsi. Now we have alu, we have nsi, alunsi. That is what you people are calling aronsi. Arrow. Some people are calling it arrow. That is why we call it arrow okoko. Arrow okoko. Have you ever heard an Igbo man say arrow okoko?
Yeah.
Arrow okoko, akpo ya arrow okoko makana the arrow is sitting on the head of the fowl. Thank you, Lily Gold. You
Yeah,
understand?
Lily. Yes, Lily, you're welcome. Lily Gold.
So the aloe now is your pino, and the insi is the optic. That is our spirituality. That is how it is. Our spirituality is to express the human consciousness
Yes.
and also to understand our anatomy, which means we have to understand the way our body is structured. So when you say Jesus feeding the 5,000 people, you're talking about the secretion within you that rises up to the head in order to be titrated into something called cranium, and it becomes the bread of life. So which means that thing you're eating in the church called the body of Christ is supposed to be something you should be giving to the body as the bread of life in order to bring consciousness and healing to the body. So what I mean in essence is that just like when you look at your skin now, if you get dirty, your body will naturally start removing the dirtiness on your skin. Do you know that?
Yes.
Do you know your body can do that?
No.
You don't know that
Yeah.
when you stay without bathing, after some days, your body will naturally start removing the dirtiness on the surface of your skin. Do you know?
No.
Okay, you don't know.
Yeah, I'm just hearing it now.
Yes, without you bathing, your body will naturally get rid of any dirtiness on the surface of the skin. That is why when you rub on the body, you rub out the dirtiness. Why? Because the body is getting rid of that dirtiness within you. That is the same thing the body does within. So when you allow this secretion to rise and turn into the bread of life, what happens? It heals the body. It brings healing to your 5,000 nerves. The 5,000 nerves are the people Jesus fed with fish and bread. What is fish and bread? When you touch your sperm now, what happens? You smell it. It smells like fish. But you taste it, it tastes like salt. The same thing with the secretion of a woman. When a woman is in her ovulation, smell the ovulation fluid. It smells like fish and it tastes like salt. That is why the juice of a woman tastes like salt. So Jesus feeding the 5,000 people with fish and bread is your secretion. So it's either you're using this secretion to elevate yourself, or you're using it to do what? To create civilization. When you talk about religion, zeal, it was taken from you for you to understand what the religion is talking about. That is one thing with African people. You people are not receptive, but yet you can claim spirituality. Your knowledge is hidden everywhere, but yet many of you are professors, yet you know nothing spiritually. Do you know that somebody can be physically fit, but yet not elevating the mind? So when you even talk about the word knowledge, do you know what it means? Have you ever wondered the reason why the word knowledge was inscribed from knowing? And the religious are the believers. Why is it that they don't teach religious knowledge? You people don't ask questions. Grand Rising Sassy Love. You people don't ask questions. When you say knowledge, it means you are talking about knowing. College. Knowledge. The word college was inscribed from the word collar, which means knowledge. College. You see? So, if you want to understand your spirituality, you must understand what they are talking about. You are speaking a language because your land was engaged. That is why it's called language. Why? Because your land is engaged. How is it engaged? It was colonized, which means you are no longer original. Everything you do is falsified. So even while you think you're thinking for yourself, you are not.
Oh my God. This is mind blasted. So language come from because your land has been engaged. They have engaged you people.
Yes, that is why it's called language. Language, engage, land engagement. So every country in Africa is a limited company. So why you think you have a country? You don't have a country. What you have is a company, a resources for other people. So what you are bragging as this is my country is not your country, because you are not longer expressing the indigenous aspect of yourself. It's being removed from you. Why? Because your land was engaged. Zikleje, anybody that in fact they say there is wisdom in the fool's perspective, my sister. There is knowledge in the fool's perspective. If you want to learn, be the fool. So, which means when you say you know, you are actually expressing that you know nothing. So if you actually know, you come out so that your knowledge can be tested. So, zeal, I've come to teach you. I'm not here to argue with you. There are people I argue with. You're not asking the right questions. You're challenging what I'm saying. There is a difference to understand and understand. These two things are not the same. That is why the Oyibo people, they call it to overstand something. It means you're walking on top of the knowledge.
Overstand.
You talked about...
Did you say overstand?
Yes, overstand and understanding. To understand is to grasp it within your soul and spirit. And to overstand is to walk upon the knowledge, which means you have really understand the knowledge and you have incorporated the knowledge into yourself. I can't bring you up and teach you, because if I bring you up, you're not going to learn. You're not coming to learn. You're coming to argue. You have been sending you have been sending requests. I see it, but I purposely don't want to accept it. Why? Because you have not come to learn. You know? So when you talk about the religion, it is called religion because it was inscribed and forced onto you.
Yes, it was forced on us.
You see?
Yeah.
So somebody asked about prayer before. In Africa, we don't pray. You see a lot of spiritual people still praying. And I begin to ask myself, what are we really doing? You call yourself a spiritual person and you're still praying. What did they teach you in church? Is it not to follow the way of righteousness, right? And the way of righteousness, is it for what? To run away from your own expression. You're running away from your natural expression. That is why they call it religious. I am sharing my knowledge. Are you sharing yours? If I wasn't sharing my knowledge, I wouldn't be here.
I love your teachings, Chairman.
You know?
Good. Keep up.
So you coming here, I've seen you. I don't need to look at you physical. When I look at you, I know you. I know you, Zeal. I know you. I can't say I know you more than yourself because you don't even know yourself. So I can say it that I know you more than yourself. So I allow you to come here when your consciousness is settled and you're ready to learn. So when your soul speaks to me differently, you can come to life. I'm telling you, Zil, I'm already telling you. I don't hide myself. I'm looking at you and you are expressing yourself and I understand you. And I say, please listen and learn. If you have a jotter, write things down. And again, I don't own anybody the responsibility of answering your questions. But I want to do it because I want to. Yeah. Some other people are here preaching, telling you all sort of falsified lies. But I choose to make this a conversative program.
No, you are doing well. We love your teaching, Shaman.
So when we talk about prayer,
and
it's not our thing. We don't pray in Africa. There's nothing like praying in African religion or way of life. We don't pray. Ijoma, Zil, I understand what is happening to you. What is happening to you right now is called triggering. That is what religion does to people. First of all, the truth will hurt you, and again, it will set you free. And they already told you that not everything that happened is written in the Bible. They told you, they are telling you in allegory that everything you have read is falsified and not the original. The Bible is an allegory from the original allegory. If you talk about religion, if you bring religion into what I'm saying, that means you completely don't understand what I'm teaching here. You are the one who is inscribing it into religion because that part of you still exists. So what you're doing is called mirroring. You see? So I've not talked about religion. You are the one bringing up the religion into my teaching. You know? The religion locks your intelligence. Now I am unlocking the intelligence. You're bringing up the religion again. I'm clarifying what you have been taught and the way our African spirituality expresses all of that. You are still saying is a lie, but you will go out and tell people that everything in the Bible was stolen in Africa. But I'm telling you now why it is stolen and what it is refers to. Yes, because everything in the Bible is refers to you as an African. So why are you not being receptive to grab the knowledge? You are talking about religion. That means a part of it still exists within you. I'm not talking about religion here. Because this life is either you know or you don't know. So when you are a believer, it means you don't know anything. That is why you're believing. Just like your mother, you can never say you believe in your mother. You know your parents, you know your father, you know your brothers, you know your sisters. Yes, Igofo is not prayer. So, like I said, you see all of the people using our cola to call Jesus, their karma will be unpaid. You see their karma, they will suffer the greatest karma on earth because those of your ancestors lives and dwell within you. Toti, you're making noise. All of you using cola. Imali imife jakpoya oji.
No.
Do you know that oji is life? Do you know that cola is one of the fruits that when you plug it, it lives longer than all other fruits? Do you know that? Do you know that during rainy season, Oji, your cola can be in your house for complete 3 seasons without getting spoiled? You can still eat it and it will still look fresh. Thank you. Onye wetara ọjị wetara ndụ. Why? Because we are eating life into us. So what do? We speak life into the cola because it's a conscious living fruit. So when we eat it, we eat the life we have speaking into it. That is why if you use cola to do affirmation of evil, you don't eat it. Why? Because you have speaking evil on the cola. So you can only eat your cola when you have made affirmations of good. Igofo does not mean to pray. Igofo means to make affirmations. That is why when we raise the cola, we'll say that Owetology, Wetelendo, will be like the rivers, will be like the oceans, will be like tomorrow because tomorrow never ends. That is affirmation. Do you know what it means when you become tomorrow? That means you are limitless. But now some people will carry our cola and they will call the name of Jesus Christ on our cola. When you're carrying your ancestors within you, do you know the kind of spiritual repercussion that is? You're insulting your own ancestors within. A lot of you think your indiche is separate from you. Nzo was taken from the earth. Oya meji akpe ya nzo. The same word was inscribed to Ozo, Izozo, Ibanzo, Ikwa Ozo, Igbu Ozu, Egbugo m ozu, anara akpọ ya egbugo m ozu, Ikwago ozu, Igbugo ozu, Igbu ozu, not ozu. Why? Because the Inzo is inscribed as the goddess of wealth. Why? Because it's gotten from the earth. Is a child of Omomo. Is one of the children of the earth. And the part of the children of the earth is diamond, stones, lithium, uranium, and all of those mineral resources, just as we are creating children. So is the earth creating children, the plants, all of them. You see? Some people will come out now, Nebugo Mozu, Iburu Ozu, Ibu Ozu, Ozu, Ikwa Ozu. That is wealth. The Inzo is both masculine and feminine in nature. That is why in Igbo tradition, we don't use Unzo that is produced by man. We use the earth Unzo gotten from the earth. How many of you have gone to Igbo traditional meeting, council of chiefs and all that? Do you see any Unzo produced by man? What you see there is local Unzo. I have it in quantum. That is what I use. The one which the masculine and the feminine is still together. They have not separated them. That is the kind of unzo we should be using. So if your ancestors never prayed, but you're burning your knees, praying all the time. Praying all the time. And after praying, do you sit down? No. Kitanga, just contact me later on WhatsApp. I will show you. I can't get up from there to look for it. You know? Your Ndiche is within you. You are the Ndiche. All of your Ndiche ever existed dwell within you. Why? Because they are the expression of yourself. They created the path for you to come.
Shaman.
Yes.
What can you say about this? About heaven and hellfire, regards to what the religion is teaching?
If you look at the religion, the hell, they call it Sodom and Gomorrah. So heaven and hell is a state of the mind, the hell being the below and the heaven being the above.
They are awakened.
So which means the seat of the above is the place of the chi, and the seat of hell is the place of the eke. So why is it referred as hell? Is also called Anubis. Why? Because your sexual organ is located there. That is what makes you act in according to the principle within you. So when you're having sexual intercourse, you're cutting the secretion that you should be using to elevate the chi. So that is why they said it's either you get married or you stay celibacy. So following the way of celibacy is the way of spirituality. That is why if a Chinese man wants to do what? If he wants to be elevated to balance his yin and yang, which is the chi and eke, what does he do? He goes to the monk. He becomes what? A monk. Why? Because life is a principle. Most Chinese children started their life in the monk.
Yes, yes.
That is why to them, they understand more of this process than us. Why? Because our own way is being destroyed by the white people.
Yes, yes, they have
Do you
destroyed
know
it.
that the place of knowledge in Africa is where we call the Obu in Igbo language? Obu.
This
Do you know what is called Obu? Obu ndi Ichie.
Obu.
Please, who knows what is called Obu here? There is a small house designed always in one clan. Every clan has their Obu. That is where the elders sit together to discuss and share knowledge. We call it Obu Ndi Ichie, which means the house of the elders. So if you want to learn, that is the same place they call the synagogue, the place Jesus always was to teach the people. That is what we call Obu Ndi Ichie. Anything ordinary, that is where we do it. No, not Obi. Okay, some people call it Obi, but we, in my language, we call it Obu. Some people call it Obi. Obi Ndi Ichie. Anything tradition, Iriji, New Yam Festival, and all that, opening of there's the house of the elders. Thank you. Sexy Nancy. Thank you. Do you know that the church they are telling you about also come from the word chi? So you don't know. It comes from the word obi. Obi. That is where we share the minds, the inner intelligence. So before the coming of the church, we were already gathering in places to share knowledge.
Yes.
Yes. During full moon, all African children, all of the elders, all of our wives, the elders sit inside the obi while the wives dance and cook during this period every full moon. The children will gather for the elders to tell them oti, ilu oti. Do you know that the word allegory means ilu? If so many of you paid attention to our ilu, we wouldn't be going through all these things. Everything I'm teaching everybody here is because I learned it from the ilu my father used to share with me. This same ilu was shared with him during his father's presence when his father was alive. Then he passed the same ilu to me. Me, I decided not to use the ilu because that is what is confusing people. So I decided to tell you what the ilu is talking about.
Yes. So I have another question.
Go ahead.
So do you know about this popular Saint Padre Pio?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and you must have heard about his story, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
What happened?
that he bilocates. I think he's a serious meditator, like he's a master.
Mm.
So, like, what can you say about it? He is different from any other priest, and they say that he was the first priest to have a stigma of Christ that he never pierced his hand. So I don't know about all those things, but the one I want to know about is how he awakened himself that he can bilocate, and then he never decayed up till now, and he's dead.
He was given injection. Every saint in the Bible who never decayed was given injection, trying to imitate the pharaohs of Egypt. But what they don't know is the pharaohs never took injection. What they did was just to use oil, natural oil, to mummify the body. So after mummifying the body, they don't decay. Why? Because the body is divine. The body don't experience eternal life. That body where they see, the body of the pharaohs have experienced what is called consciousness. So that body is no longer the same. So in my program, I don't talk about the sense of the Bible. I only talk about the things that should elevate the consciousness of the people and our way of life. So in essence, what you call spirituality, we don't have it in Africa. We are not spiritual people.
Yes.
We have a culture and we have a way of life. What do you say when people are cultural? It means they are expressing their innermost essence. So they are living without guilt. That is why in Africa we forgive too much. It's only a white person, you will do something and they will carry it in their mind. And they will retaliate. But an African will forgive you and still eat with you. So now, Toti, I'm teaching you how to be your own saint.
Okay.
Elevate your chi, and your chi can never be elevated with meditation.
But with what? Is it foods? The food you are going to be eating? Because I've been serious with meditation, gazing through the sun, all those things.
You started with me on this life. So this question you're asking right now, man, I've talked about the AK, how you use the secretion from the AK to elevate the chi. You see? What the religion is teaching you is to do what? To be righteous. And there is nothing like being righteous. It doesn't exist. You can never be a righteous being. What is the meaning of enlightenment? The meaning of enlightenment is to think for yourself, which means nobody is influencing your thoughts. So how do people think for themselves? You can never think for yourself if you don't know your history. But all of you are following his history, not your own. They told us this man discovered the River Niger, and I always ask, what about our ancestors who were using canoe on that river to go to the market? What about them? They have been going through all those creeks before the white man came there and discovered the stupid River Niger. What about our ancestors that have been using canoe to pass through that place?
These people, they really dealt with us, destroy our culture and our spirituality. How we love, they put problem everywhere.
Eh? In Africa, they are the one who discovered everything. Okay, if you discover something in Africa, please tell it to your fellow white man that you discovered this thing in Africa. Why? Because there have been people who existed there and they have a name for it. What is River Niger? Do you know that same river called the River Niger is called Onyehi in Asaba? And you go to Okpanam. Yes, if you go to Okpanam, they call it another name. You go to Okwe, they call it another name. That same River Niger. You go to Onocha, River Niger is called Ose. So why are you calling it Niger River? Why? Because a white man called it Niger River. So the original name our ancestors gave to that river is no longer important, right? Nigeria was discovered by a prostitute, yes. Now, why is it that we are called the name of the ancestor? I mean, some other country in Africa, they are changing the names the white people gave to them. Why is it Nigeria is not changing their own? Why? Because it's a limited PSC. Nigeria is visually controlled by the British Empire. Who owns Shell? Who owns Halliburton? Which company in Nigeria is in charge? Which African company is a production company of oil? None. So even when you think you're out of the colonialism, none of us is out of it. What we are going through is called microcolonialism. How is it run? They put our leaders into an occult to bend them. They bend them to do their desires. So all of our politicians are in an occult. White man's occult. So in order to be a ruler in Africa, you must belong to the occult. So if you don't belong to the occult, they can never give you any seat of leadership. Why? Because you're not binded by the oath. So all of us here are thinking slavery don't pass. Now slaves start. Now now the slavery start because your food is about to be decided. The water you drink is about to be decided from another person, which means you're not eating what you should be eating. Somebody is deciding that for you. It's not even your decision. They are going to make all those organic food so scarce that you only have options of the GMOs. You see?
Yes.
So when you go to the market, the only option you have are meals that leave mucus within your nervous system. So which means you will not have a long life. You will die soon. And what they are doing, they are buying African eggs. A wealthy man, a wealthy white man have 500,000 acre, which means the eggs of a black woman stored in a bank. 500,000. Remove minus 500,000 from Africa today and replace it with the one he's creating. You see what they are doing? It's terrible. Your social media, the news is controlled
by the government.
So, yes, everything you hear is controlled. Any radio station that comes to air something that is not relative to what they told you to air, your own is finished. A lot of you here, for example, a lot of you here, you have been paying tithe. Your pastor is owing you. Tithe does not mean to give freely. You're not giving from the abundance of your heart. And your tithe is not the widow's mite. The word widow's mite is what? Is what? The word widow's mite is an allegory. Oilu kobu is an allegory. The widow's mind is a word that expresses the little of the secretion that brings mind into you, that bring elevation into you. Why? Because when it leaves the AK, it goes out as a cell. So which means your sperm can be millions of cells. And the egg of a woman can be millions of cells. But when it gets crucified, what happens to it? It becomes little quantity out of the secretion. That is what they call tithe. That is the tithe. So when you give tithe, you're giving to collect a higher form of that. So all of you giving like paying 2,000 as tithe, you're supposed to be getting like 1 million in return as interest. When people don't know themselves, they can easily be deceived. Because the knowledge you're giving to the people is as important to the food you're giving to them. Why? Because it is not only the food that makes you become. The knowledge also make you become. Do you know that you can become the thing you have told? You have been told. Any information being given to you, you are becoming that information. They told us to shave our hair. We are shaving our hair. But yes, we are listening to the story of Samson and Delilah. Everything expressed there is what they have successfully done to us. And I'm telling an African, he's telling me I'm relating religion. Who's talking about religion? You either know or you don't know. I'm not making a theory. I mean, the only people who have suffered from the theory is Africans. We are the only people who is suffering from that conspiracy theory. Nobody is talking about it. When you talk about conspiracy theory, it means you're changing the narratives of the people. You're changing the way of life of the people, and you're enforcing something else to them. You know, you go to South Africa, and South African will tell you they are more Bantu than you are. You go to Zimbabwe, they will tell you I am more Bantu than you are, but yet they don't even know the meaning of Bantu.
Shama, please, I want to ask a question.
Go ahead.
You say something about the X. You say it's 500 million, or what did you say?
About 600,000 in bank already stored.
600,000. That means we have lost this battle, because if one person can get up to that, let's say
I have proof. I have
no
proof of a video. He said it with his mouth.
No, I didn't say you don't.
No. I'm just saying it for other people to hear me.
No, what I'm
Go
saying
ahead.
is that
I'm listening to you.
if one person can have such, we don't know how many of them will have it. That means we have lost the battle. That is where
they want to change. They want to recreate the people of Africa. They want to wipe us away, then replace it with something they can control. Zombified people.
Chai.
That is what they want to create. Zombified people.
Africans, especially our men, you people will just put your hands in your lap and keep quiet. So these people will finish us. They say to us that they want to reduce the number of people living on this earth. And immediately they point straight to Africa. So we'll just keep quiet. I'm done.
None of them will live long without our DNA inside them.
I'm done.
That is what they are doing.
I will go down for another, because this one now, the get where they hit me for head. I don't take care myself.
You know? So a lot of us, we don't even know. We are already in a war. We think the war is when they throw bomb and then they come with a gun. And all of you are waiting for the coming of Jesus. Jesus has been coming every blessed month in your life. You don't know it because you were deceived, the knowledge you were given. Jesus is the solar return. That is the Son of Man that sneaks up of you like a thief in the night. If you like, put religion into it. That is your business. That is your responsibility. Mine is to tell you the truth. Jesus is your solar return. That is the time your AK creates your secretion and pushes this into the spinal column. The secretion that is coming out from your body as a